What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan. I run a channel called The Flock Rundown. That's Noah. He runs a channel called For the Flock. What's going on? How are you doing,
Hey,
man?
hey, man. Um, as we were talking before we went live, um, heartbreaker. We were talking about this. Me and Ryan texted each other during a Chiefs game, and I was like, "Hey," I was telling him my thoughts. Just when we were like, "Yeah, bro, this is terrible." We're like venting to each other, and then we realized I was like, "Did I text you during the last game?" He's like, "No, you didn't. It was during a Chiefs game." We were like, "Yeah, it was." We both just thought it was that bad. Like it was just like there was like no hope from the rip. Like so we didn't even
First
talk to
drive.
each other. But I just wanted to enlighten all the fans watching, all the channel supporters of what we were talking about because I thought it was funny. But yeah, man, here we are after 1-4 start. Not the start we were expecting, right? If you would have told me that
No chance.
heading into the season, I would have been like, "Bro, you're off your rocker, bro. Like, we're gonna. You must have flipped it. You must have flipped it because I can see 4-1, but I don't see 1-4. But here we are, man.
Here we are. Yeah, it's been a painful start to the season. I think the expectations of what we all thought this Ravens team should be is what makes it harder to deal with. And I know there's a million different circumstances going on with the schedule and injuries, but I mean, whatever. Excuses. We should probably not be 1-4 right now. It's definitely underperforming, but long season to go. Getting a lot of guys back. I think the biggest concern right now is game preparation, getting these guys like prepared and ready for the guys that are available. You know what I mean? We got a tough Rams
Yeah,
game coming up this week. Like I'm not confident until everyone gets back and we can kind of see if the coaches make any changes or whatever. I know a lot of
yeah,
people are wanting some coaching changes right now. I'm not against that. Whatever's going to work, man. That's what I'm
yeah,
for.
bro. We were talking about this a little, but I'm feeling good. I don't know why I'm feeling good, but I'm feeling good, man. I actually have confidence that the Ravens are going to turn this thing around.
After the
And
bye or like this week?
this week,
Oh,
like I really
predicted a
do.
win against the Rams?
Yeah, and that's probably
Short-handed
just
again?
that's probably just my Ravens homer in me, you know.
Yeah, I
But
want to pick them.
I'm going Baltimore, man. I really, dude. There's just no way that the Baltimore Ravens come out here again in their home stadium with. I know there's a lot of stuff. I know there's a lot of stuff about John Harbaugh right now and wanting to get rid of him and wanting to fire him. But he's had one losing season, right? Like maybe two losing seasons. Like it's been a while. It's been a minute. And I think this team just has what it takes. I don't know. Don't ask me like all the details. Don't ask me why, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive. And like I said, um, even if okay, so good news is if the Ravens turn this thing around, all right, it's going to be a great story. We were just talking about this before we went live. Out of 253 teams starting 1-4, 15 of those teams have made the playoffs. So if you turn this thing around, bro, like great story. The Ravens fans are going to be pulled back into it. Anytime L is on the field, you have a chance, and he's coming back soon, right? And if the Ravens don't turn it around and they end up, sucking, and they end up with a bottom half of the league record, then like I was saying, bro, we're gonna get a top draft pick. And the last time we got a top draft pick, we landed Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum in the same draft, by the way, and some other dudes. But I feel I don't know why it doesn't make any sense, but I actually feeling all right, man. I'm feeling all
No,
right.
I totally get that mentality just to see the light of both scenarios. I've been kind of feeling that myself. I said that today in my video. I was like, there's a piece of me that like if this season stays this bad, like let's say the injuries continue and like the coaching issues continue and we just have an awful season, then there will be some drastic change at the top with the coaches most likely, but also we're getting some insane talent in the draft. But on the other hand, if we turn this season around, which is still a possibility, it is not over. If we turn this season around, that's an amazing story. I think I definitely think we can turn the season around, but there's resistance in my mind about like, can we then go on like a great playoff run and beat all the top teams though? Because we are consistently out coached, even when healthy, against those teams. So like a lot would have to change for me to be like, we're going to the Super Bowl. Talk to me in like week 17 and we'll see how it's going. But I definitely think the Ravens can turn this season around. I don't think we're like picking top 5, man. I mean, this schedule is very winnable, and literally everyone should be back outside of Matabike after the bye. Every single player. So,
Bro,
I mean, we are having a lot of guys come back, but I mean, we got to see it on the field,
Yeah, and here's the thing too, man. Kay Adams posted this morning on FanDuel. The Baltimore Ravens are still favored.
Yeah, I saw that a couple places have them favored still. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw, according to ESPN analytics, the Steelers are favored, but there's some 60%. Other spots. Yeah, still have the Ravens favored. And the reality is here's the thing: if you're 1-4 and the Steelers right now are 3-1, if you beat Pittsburgh twice with a healthy Lamar Jackson,
right back in it.
You're right back, pretty much tied up with them, and then you'd have the head-to-head tiebreaker. Plus, the Ravens are already 1-0 in their division, and they're probably going to sweep the Bengals because the only team right now worse than the Baltimore Ravens is the Bengals.
No, the rest of the division's super winnable. Yeah, the only competition is the Steelers, and we talked about this last week on the live. Like, they always have a late season collapse.
Yeah,
I have a lot of Steelers friends too. I lived half my life in Pennsylvania, and like, they always collapse, and like that those fans don't like Tomlin right now either, and like they always kind of it's like a very similar, not a similar roster by any means. I think we're in two different lanes of like ages and stuff and talent, but I'm just saying from a collapse, from a coaching perspective, like the Steelers don't hang on all season. So I mean, there's no doubt the Ravens can turn this around. It's just like, how far can they go? Like just turning it around and having a fun season and then getting bounced in the wild card of the divisional round is still going to suck.
Yeah.
Like, indeed, I'm not going to be, then we're picking 24 and we got nothing to show for, you know what I mean? Like then it's like,
Bro, but how much different would this feel if in week 1 we somehow didn't blow a 40-25 lead in the fourth quarter, and we were sitting at 2-3 with a win over one of the NFL's best teams?
Yeah, it was a little early glimpse into some of these defensive like lapses, though, man. Just that you know what I mean? Like, we continue to play, we continue to not get pressure, we continue to play soft zone coverage, and like we can't get home with 4. And it's like those issues that arose at the end of the Bills game are like glaring right now. And so I get what you're saying, though. Like,
John Harbaugh,
that game, we should have won it.
Yeah, it's true. John, the one thing that gave me hope, well, a couple of things. John Harbaugh talked about this today in the press conference. One of the reporters asked about the soft zone coverage.
Yeah, it was Cordell,
And he was like, well, it's really not soft zone. It's the players aren't reacting on the routes, and they're leaving too much cushion. They're not processing quick enough because we got a lot of young guys out there. I remember the first big completion, the chunk that Nico Collins, where TJ Champa was out there. And, I mean, there was a big soft cushion that Tampa
10 yards off.
Didn't really break on it in time. Yeah, he was playing off, but then he's saying, hey, if we're going to man up, like, the pass rush has to be there because, guys are going to have to run and cover for a long time. So that makes sense. So I don't know if this makes any sense. I'm at least liking that he's providing an explanation and like deep thought analysis on why they're running stuff the way it is and how they can fix it. He also said that he felt like the issues that were fixed last year were actually harder issues to fix than the ones this year. And the other things that is exciting is, like, I know we just got dog walked, right, by the Texans. Like, we're getting Kyle Hamilton back, all pro, Roquan Smith, all pro, Marlon Humphrey, all pro, and other guys. And I just feel like, man, once you get Lamar Jackson back on the field, he brings an energy and a spark and an excitement to the whole locker room, to the coaching staff, to everybody, that there's just hope when he's on the field. So I'm just, my bank, what I'm hoping for, the reason why I still have optimism and I'm feeling good, is that Lamar Jackson coming back and providing the spark on top of the Baltimore Ravens getting healthier, including guys like Patrick Ricard, who hasn't even played yet, and like the third game from Isaiah Likely, who's getting back healthy, and then Keaton Mitchell starting to get some carries, and also this really made me excited, is that John Harbaugh said he would actually consider making offensive line changes, man.
I'll believe when I see it.
Dude,
I like that he said that, but I'll believe it when I see it, because these guards got to go, man, today. Sorry. They got to go. It's the ugliest situation I've ever seen. And the offense is healthy outside of Lamar and Pat Ricard. But, I mean, we haven't had him all season. Obviously, that will help. But that's not going to fix the offensive line. I mean, these guards look lost.
Bro, I'm hoping Emory Jones can get back right and provide a little something.
He could come back after the bye. He could come back after the bye. I think he's definitely got to work back into football shape, since he just got to practice last week. I'm interested in him, though. I mean, I think I've been seeing a lot of people say that he's going to stay, or the Ravens listed him at tackle, but I heard Harbaugh say they're looking at him at guard and tackle, I highly doubt he's going to play tackle. He was a natural guard, by the way. Before LSU, he played guard. So LSU needed a right tackle, and he was so good that he started as a freshman for LSU and filled in where they needed, but that wasn't his natural position. So I think Emory's got a lot of potential, but how quick can he get up to speed? Are they ready to just toss him into the lineup after the bye? I don't know. I mean, we also got Bullock on the roster. He plays guards. I mean, I'm willing to try anybody, but I promise you the Voorhees and Fa'alele right now are not the answers. And this is, going on 2 years now. And I'm just tired of being patient about it.
Yeah.
I really
I'm ready to move on from.
we have to make changes. I do appreciate Harbaugh saying that he's willing to make changes, but let's see it. We don't have a lot to lose right now. The offensive line cannot run block. When have you ever, the Ravens have always stopped the run and ran well. Can you remember a time where it's we can't get the run game going, and we have Derrick Henry back there, and we activated Keaton, and we can't run?
The last time that I could remember us not being able to run the ball well was 2017, 2018 with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, without Lamar, right? Yeah,
without Lamar. Ever since Lamar has been in the lineup, he just opens stuff up with the options. He freezes the edges. He makes the linebackers freeze and think, and you kind of see how bad the run blocking is from the offensive line whenever Lamar Jackson's not in there and Derrick Henry has to just do a traditional run game. Lamar helps out Derrick Henry so much, man. And Derrick Henry is super talented. And I'm not saying that, it's all Lamar, but he definitely opens up stuff for him to get going downhill, which makes Derrick Henry really, really dangerous. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the fact that the defenses the Baltimore Ravens have been going up against are the best in the league. I'm looking at these rankings.
Yeah.
The Browns have the second overall defense. The Texans have the third overall defense. The Chiefs, who they played, have the fifth defense in points per game. The Detroit Lions are sitting at eighth overall, and the Bills are sitting at ninth overall. So, dude, every single team that the Baltimore Ravens have played have had a top 10 or top 5 level defense in the NFL. And the Ravens have still been able to put a lot of points up against some of those defenses. So I'm trying to picture what it's going to look like when we get a healthy Lamar Jackson and we start playing middle of the road defenses, getting hot again, and then just getting something on defense. The defense doesn't have for the Ravens to be a true Super Bowl contender with the amount of offensive talent they have. The Ravens defense just needs to be middle of the pack. So, like, where my hope comes from is that the Ravens will somehow, with the talent they still have on the roster, be able to get themselves in a position where, hey, maybe they're not like a great defense, but if they could be an average defense, a middle of the pack defense, and play some complementary football, force some turnovers here and there, that's where the hope is. Now, have you seen a lot from the defense to be able to show that they can do that? Not really. But we were kind of in the same situation last year where the defense was hot trash, the worst in the league. Then the second half of the season, somehow they turned into literally the league's best defense, like literally the league's best defense. And I just now thought about this too, but our Darius Washington could actually be back later in the season as well. So that's like my pitch for why there should be some optimism. I remember the Colts starting, I think 0-5 a few years ago, or 1-5, and still making a wild card. But hey, if I'm wrong and the Ravens still suck, we're going to end up with a great draft capital, and the Ravens will be back in the mix next season. But man, I'm still feeling some hope. Still feeling some hope, Ryan.
No, I feel after the bye, I'm feeling some hope. I'm not exactly with you this week, just because I'm like, man, dude, the Rams just came off a loss of a game they shouldn't. They have 10 days to prepare,
extra time,
and this is like the worst defense in the league right now.
Yeah,
and we probably will get Kyle back, but just Kyle, like overnight, make this defense be able to stop the Rams. I'm not there. I'm very concerned. They have a lot of weapons, and I don't know. But I feel you, man. I'm with you after the bye. Like, I'm definitely in I don't have high Super Bowl hopes or anything right now, but I definitely would be shocked if we're like a 3-4 win team. I mean, I really think that we could easily get to 10-7, and with this division, that's gonna probably win the division or at least be a wild card spot in the AFC, most likely. I mean, there's not even an undefeated team in the league anymore, and it's through 5 weeks. So,
right.
Definitely with you after the bye. I'm not putting my money on it or anything, but like I definitely am feeling some of that optimism, no doubt. Let's get to a couple of these super chats. I guess they weren't saying much, but appreciate you, Kevin, with the 2. How you doing? He's laughing. and then we got Asmodeus Thanatos with the 5. Appreciate you. How great would it be to get paid $17 million to do absolutely nothing? F Harbs, get that bum out of here. I mean, that's the sentiment right now in the fan base. Is it's goodbye Harbaugh, and I totally understand where that's coming from, and don't think that is a wrong take by any means. Like, we've had a lot of issues that continue, but I guess the reason it's like not on my main thing to talk about is because it's just not going to happen this season.
Yeah.
I would be shocked. I don't think it helps anything. I think the Ravens go out swinging regardless. Now, could we see a coordinator change with Zach Orr? Absolutely. Or some kind of mix up with the coordinator change. I think we're all right on offense. I'm with you with when Lamar gets back, Pat Ricard. I can't stand the guards on the offensive line. Hopefully we do something there. But regardless, the offense is a lot closer to having consistent success than the defense is. So a Zach Orr change, definitely possible. John Harbaugh change right now.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked.
That's a great point. If you could put up XVYJZ, his comment, he says, Noah, why do you want Harbs to stay? If we do good, Bashotti won't fire Harbs.
How far back is that?
Got
it.
Got it. Yeah. So just so we're clear, I never said I wanted John Harbaugh to stay. I just don't think right now firing John Harbaugh in the middle of the season is going to do much for you.
It tanks the season. Yeah. It's probably just over. Yeah.
Like, who do you feel confident about on the Ravens coaching staff right now that has their unit right to lead this team?
Yeah. It'd be a filler until they do research in the offseason.
Yeah. I'm cool with moving on from Harbaugh in the offseason. And also, just so we're clear, I actually want the Baltimore Ravens to move on from Zach Orr. Like, I want someone else to take over play calling. I'm not saying the Ravens have to straight up fire Zach Orr, but I want someone to take over play calling and start to lead the defense.
Someone already on the roster like Pagano or something, or where do you
Pagano, dude, I don't know, but I
yeah,
don't. I
whoever
don't.
gets the job done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, it can't get any worse. Like if you go to somebody else and they suck, well, okay, we were already sucking. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
The only person I thought of that I would actually like consider, like if the Baltimore Ravens were to move on from Harbaugh midseason, what I don't see them doing, they don't do that type of stuff. It's not in their DNA.
Especially
Like,
after 18 years, I don't think
after,
it's gonna be a messy split.
right. I
It
don't
would
think
be like
so.
a very respectful, smooth, well thought out transition. And
Yeah.
that could come in the offseason, but
Right.
I just don't think it's coming at all this season.
Yeah. But if there was one guy, I don't know if the same guy comes to your mind, but if there's one guy on the Ravens coaching staff that I would actually feel comfortable, like I would be intrigued to see him take over as head coach, it's T. Martin.
Mm. Yeah, I
Just
think we should talk
because
about this.
of the chemistry and the relationship that he and Lamar Jackson have he's like an offensive minded, quarterback minded coach. And I love ever since T. Martin's taken over as the quarterback's coach, Lamar Jackson has had the best seasons he's ever had and has increasingly gotten better as a pure passer of the football. And I just like his mojo. I like his leadership, the way he talks and dresses the media and stuff. I would like T. Martin if the Ravens were to move on, but I just don't think they're going to do it in the middle of the season.
Yeah, no, I highly doubt it. But I hold on, let's get to some other super chats here. Clear these out. 2020 vision, appreciate the 2. Rams about to put 60 on us. I mean, if
Yep. You're
yeah,
probably right.
yeah, if it's anything like this week, yeah, would not be shocked. Would
Yep.
not be shocked. I'm not expecting the bit. Like I said, I love your optimism, Noah, this week. I personally am not expecting the like full turnaround until the Bears after the bye. Bears, Dolphins. I'm not looking at the schedule. We got like the Jets and like bunch of winnable games. If we're losing to those teams, season's over for sure. But like this week,
Yeah.
this week against the Rams, like I don't know, man. It's hard for me to be like, yeah, we're just gonna have all this fight and we're gonna look well prepared. And it's just like overnight because we're not getting a lot of guys back this week. Maybe Kyle, maybe like what Awuzie, maybe Marlon. I mean, I don't think so though. I've been here in a couple weeks. I would just expect a lot of these guys to come after the bye. So that's why I was thinking that. But Asmodeus, thank you for the 2. End of year. Doubt we get much better this year. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we said, I agree with you that Harbaugh firing would come at the end of the year. I do think we get better this year. I would have a hard time believing it looks like that Texans game. I made a video today. I was like, have we reached rock bottom? And by that, I wasn't like even being negative. I just literally meant like, is it only getting better from here? Like, have we seen the worst of it? You know what I mean? Because that Texans game, the Chiefs game, the Texans game, we don't get blown out like that. So like I do feel like if we haven't hit rock bottom and the turnaround isn't yet, we are very close to rock bottom because it just can't get that much worse.
Yeah. Yeah, man. My only hope for the Rams this week is just pure Raven homerism. And also just the fact that they're just desperate, like absolutely like desperate with John Harbaugh with his like back up against the wall. Like I don't know if he's ever been like in this desperate of a situation in his career.
Did you see that
And
video when he was walking off the field and like all the fans were screaming at him and he was just like looking at him?
yeah,
That's gotta be
yeah,
like a surreal moment for him too, man.
it
Like
has to be.
not in a good way, but just like, man, like he has to feel it at like a maximum level in that moment. Cause I watched him just stare at all of them,
Right.
screaming at him, you suck, boo, boo, and he's just looking at him. And I'm like, man, like what is he feeling?
Bro. The
Not easy.
the vanity, right? Or I guess the calamity. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Just how fast things change in the NFL. Like one moment you're like the guy, everyone's, well, let's go Ravens, and then the next minute you're like get this dude out of here. So, man.
Yeah. No, it's not easy. Hold on. Lamar leaving is rock bottom. I agree. That's like a long-term rock bottom though. Lamar's under contract next year. So
Bashotti's not letting that man go anywhere.
Well, I don't think so either, but I was just saying
No
he's definitely on the Ravens next year, and I'm guessing they come to an extension at some
Yeah.
point. But he's definitely on the Ravens next year. He's already under contract. So
yeah,
if
he's under
Lamar
contract
left,
through 2027, right?
I gotta look.
It's just that the cap hit goes crazy high.
Yeah. So all right,
but
so 2
he's
years
still under contract.
Regardless, like that's a long-term rock bottom, which I do agree with you. If Lamar left, that would definitely be rock bottom. I was kind of more talking about like short-sighted this season. Like, have we went through the worst of this season? You know, like, can we look worse than that Texans game?
No, that was the worst.
I'm kind of there too. Maybe this week against the Rams, but like I just got a feeling with 2 weeks off with that bye, we get everyone back, and we got to see a turnaround. It's not going to look like the Texans game. So I mean, I do think there's reason to be optimistic. There's been a discussion with Tyler Huntley versus Cooper Rush. I don't know what your thoughts are. I'll just like give mine briefly, but
yeah, go ahead.
Lamar's obviously not out long term as far as we know, so this might be like a just this week discussion, you know. But I'm kind of indifferent about it because I don't think either of them move the needle enough to overcome all these other problems that we have. I do think the fact that we can't run block to save our life right now, Huntley may be a better option in this specific scenario to be more mobile and help create a distraction for the defense to help open the run game a little bit more, to essentially help this offensive line run block by having another mobile quarterback in there. That's my only like case for Huntley, but I genuinely, with the way this defense is playing and the fact that we can't really run the ball well, I really don't think Rush or Huntley gives us a chance to win with all these other issues. We need Lamar.
Yeah. I still think Cooper Rush gives you the best chance to win. First of all, you know, we're talking about like Tyler Huntley holds the ball a lot, and I think he would take more sacks than Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush actually was really good in the last game of getting the ball out quick and made some really good decisions. He was efficient. I didn't think Cooper Rush going against the NFL's best defense, who was averaging 12 points per game. It could have been a lot worse. Cooper Rush, in my opinion, only threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, only one.
Maybe one. Yeah, I was going to say, I really
one.
think it is one. I mean, Bateman's running on the route for sure.
Bateman gave up on that. John Harbaugh talked about that today. And then the other one, Mark Andrews just threw up in the air and said, "Here's a gift." And then he went over to the sideline and, you know, threw a temper tantrum. And then the only true interception was that little, you know, flat route to Derrick Henry where Petrie stepped in front of it. And I've seen, you know, quarterbacks make dumb decisions like that. I thought Cooper Rush, what is he? He's now 9-6 as a starter. Yep. So he still wins more games than he loses. Tyler Huntley, if you look at his record as a starter, it is really bad. Like,
yeah, he's not going to lift the pass game. And that's why I said the only case for Huntley is to help activate this run game. Yeah. But like, other than that, I agree. Rush is better for overall, but we need Lamar.
Yeah. And Tyler Huntley is not the same mobily as he was when he came in the league like 6 years ago.
Right.
Like, I don't think he looks nearly as elusive or quick, in my opinion. But I'd take my chances with Rush. Plus, Rush was here throughout the whole offseason. Tyler Huntley wasn't. And Rush has more wins under his belt. And I feel more confident with him than I do with Tyler Huntley, to be honest. But like, I agree with you. If the other issues are still a problem, like, it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. If we can't run the ball and we're playing terrible defense, Rush doesn't make a difference. Lamar wouldn't win that game if we can't run the ball and we're letting up. You think we would have scored 45 plus points with Lamar against the Texans defense?
No way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was a guaranteed L no matter what.
We probably would have put up 30.
Yeah.
It would have been a 44-30 loss.
Which is great against that defense. Yeah. But like, our defense
just like against the Lions.
Yeah.
Bro, we put up 30 against the Lions and still lost. We put up 40 against the Bills and still lost.
Yeah. I think the defense is by far the biggest issue here. I'm going to continue to talk about the guards on the offensive line because I just think that that's ridiculous that we keep neglecting that. But other than that, I think the offense will be fine. It's not really the point of, or it's not really the part of this team that is going to hold us back. It is 1000% the defense. And I like that it does give me some hope that we turned this all around last year. But on the flip side of that, in a way, like if you take the whole sample size of last year and the start of this season, it's just way more bad than good. So it's like, dang, like if we don't turn it around, like maybe that little run at the end of last year was a flash in the pan. You know what I mean? Because like the sample size is saying that we are more often bad than good on defense right now, which sucks. That's not the Baltimore standard, I guess. We're so far from that standard. I don't even like saying that. But.
Right. Which is why I'm all for moving on from Zach Orr, which I hate to say that. Like, I really like Zach Orr as a person and really like I'm rooting for him. It's just he's not shown me enough through how many games has he called now? He had a whole season last year.
Yeah, I was going to say 17 in the regular season last year,
in the
two in the playoffs, 19 plus 5, 24.
Yeah, so 24 games and maybe
had a good defense for like 7 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
So like a third of the games have been like solid, and the rest has been not even average, but really bad. So.
Yeah, it's the worst defense. Actually, I think we're on pace. Now, obviously, I think that we won't stay on this pace, but we are on pace to have the worst defense ever in football history.
Yeah.
So, like, that's insane, man. In Baltimore, it's disrespectful. I've been seeing some people in the comments say, like, hire Ray as a defensive coordinator. I would love that, man. I think he's watched so much film throughout his career and would easily inspire this team, but I just don't know if he would want to do it. I feel like the Ravens should have been open to that. I'm guessing that Ray probably just doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm assuming usually players like with that type of legacy, like if you come in and you are trash as a defensive coordinator, I don't know. To me, it kind of could like sour the taste a little bit of the legacy. I don't know
like
if that
Orr a little bit. Not that he has anywhere of Ray's legacy, but like everyone loved Orr. Like great story. All-pro linebacker as an undrafted rookie, or not. He didn't make it as a rookie, but ended up becoming an all-pro linebacker. And then, tragic injury that he can't play football anymore. Everyone loved Orr, and now everyone's turned because he's not able to get together consistent defenses here, man. Yeah. So I feel that. Yeah. I guess that's a good point to make.
Just think about it. Like when you think of Zach Orr now, like I don't even think like the first thing that comes to my mind is like bad defense, like bad defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like his legacy as a player.
That's another thing that does come back to Harbaugh because he's making these coaching hires, right? So like, did he make a mistake by just like putting someone in there? Because Zach Orr's never been a defensive coordinator.
No.
He has zero experience.
No, so he went straight from linebacker coach to defensive coordinator. Never
that's a bold
called
move.
College plays.
And we're like almost, a year and a half in, and we just said 70% of it's not good. So it's like that does fall back on the Harbaugh too, because if he can see that, and I know he went out after the game and said that he's not making a coordinator change, but if he can see that, he needs to like immediately go to a Pagano or whoever he trusts then.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's also important to note that like a lot of people that are saying they're just like, oh, hire Ray Lewis as head coach and then hire Ed Reed as defensive coordinator. And then like, bro, like, first of all, this isn't like Madden. And second of all, like just because someone's a great player doesn't mean they're a great coach. And like, doesn't mean that they're like analytically minded to sit there all night at a computer screen and like draw up plays and like look at film until they're blue in the face. Like that's what makes a coordinator. Like everything that makes a good player doesn't always make a good coordinator. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
No, I completely agree. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're able to communicate the teachings, because I think that's a big gap right now is like, I've been hearing, and maybe all the players are just being politically correct in the press conferences and stuff, but every player has kind of backed the coaching a little bit and been like, it's on us. Like, we're not taking their direction and message and applying it to the field. And that may very well be the only thing going on. But I also would argue on the other side of that, like, then figure out a different way to communicate that message. Right. Because like if there's that many guys out of position and not doing their job, then we need a little bit of a better system to be able to teach them then, like in some of those softer zone coverages, why are the linebackers not able to feel out where those receivers are in the middle of the field? Why are they consistently out of position? So those are the things where I'm like, you got to be able to teach it better then, so they can then go apply it on the field. And I know we got a lot of young guys right now. I'm not specifically talking about just the Texans game. This has been a common theme though, so it's just like, work on the communication then, because maybe the message is fine. Maybe what they're saying is correct, but it's not translating. So,
right. Bro, I agree. And here's the other thing too. When it comes to leadership and getting players ready to go and accountability, coaching's a big part, but so are the leaders in your locker room.
Yeah.
So like, hey, Kyle Hamilton, you're getting paid $25 million a year now. Roquan Smith, you're getting paid $20 million per year. Namdi Madubuike, bro, I know you're hurt, but you're still a leader and a voice in this defense. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough if you're not playing with like a Madubuike situation, but I totally know what you're saying. Yeah. Like we need vocal leaders in this locker room to inspire the players. And I was saying this like 2 weeks ago with Roquan, when I wasn't seeing the physicality that I saw in that Cleveland game, where he looked like he was running around with his head chopped off, and then got like kind of hesitant after that. And a lot of guys were hesitant. And I was like watching back the speech he gave in the beginning, and it's the same speech. Like, and I was like, maybe some of those voices are running stale. And if you're not the savage out there on the field like Roquan was when he first got here, it probably doesn't connect the same. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, if you're giving that pregame speech, like, you got to say something that obviously connects with everyone and it inspires them. But then you also have to go out there and back it up on the field, or people just ain't going to take you serious. Like, they're not going to listen to you at the same level. So it is some of voices stepping up, leaders in the locker room, but also then like they need to be dominant out there on the field then. Yeah. Because then people will follow.
Got to back it up, man. And that's that I like that point that you're making, because that could be a big reason why it felt like the Ravens lost their wind in their sails, is because a lot of the leaders that normally have that voice have been the same players that like costing big games. Like, I know everybody in that locker room respects the crap out of Derrick Henry, like his work ethic and what he does. But like, he had 3 fumbles that like lost the games. A big part of the reasons why the Ravens lost in 3 consecutive games to start the year. Roquan Smith wasn't playing his best ball before the Browns game, or after the Browns game. The only player that I feel like has really played well consistently is Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, outside of like a play here and there, he let up a touchdown like 2 weeks ago. The Chiefs game, he let up a touchdown. But I agree with you. Yeah, Kyle's been like, he's the leader that has been consistently showing up on the field, and I think we should get Kyle back this week. So we'll see how the injury reports progress and stuff. But I think that if I'm a betting man, that's the voice. That's the voice I'd follow. Like, I think Kyle says the right things. He's honest. He's transparent. He seems to be accountable. Even when he made that, like, a lot of fans got worked up when he said that Ravens fans are spoiled. And then literally the next week in the press conference, in the heat of it, he's like, this is what I meant. Like, we're used to greatness and we're not being great. And like, I was like, that, like, the accountability that Kyle has, the honesty, that he comes with. Van Noy does too. I mean, I think Van Noy speaks his mind as well. I don't know if he's, he's not as quite impactful. He's not a superstar like Kyle Hamilton is. So maybe doesn't go as far, but I think Kyle Hamilton could grow into become the main leader of the defense. He's still young.
I agree, man. I agree. I'd love to see, maybe they've already done it. Maybe it's already in the works, but like, my point is like, hey, let's get together like an all only players meeting, right? And have the leaders of the team, like the Lamar Jacksons, the Derrick Henrys, the Kyle Hamiltons, like get an all players meeting together, only players, and say, hey, like let's hold each other accountable. Let's turn this thing around. Like we're too talented to be losing games like this, and to get like established again. It just feels like right now it's like when something goes wrong, they're almost expecting something else to go wrong. Like it's just like a snowball.
They're not playing confident. Yeah.
No,
Like
no
nobody knows like the exact way to fix it. So when like things start going wrong, you can just see the life deflate. And it's just like everyone's looking around like, what do we do? You know what I mean? Like, and then, so yeah, we need leaders on the field. I heard is a long time ago, but there was a time where like Harbaugh wasn't really getting through to like Ray and them. And I remember Ray and Suggs, they had that players only meeting that you're talking about. And basically said like, it is on them, man. Like they're out there on the field. No, the coach teaches them and everything and, and organizes everything, but they're the ones actually out there on the field. They don't even like technically have to listen to what's going on. They got to make the plays out there. So there's definitely an aspect of players just stepping up and just turning this thing around too. Also, the coaching shouldn't go without blame, though. It hasn't been great.
No, I agree, man. I think a lot of people deserve a lot of blame.
Yeah. And we're all looking for – I see it everywhere, man. Like if I'm on X or YouTube or whatever, like there's like so many different people blame getting tossed around. And I think we're all just as like emotional fans who are like just kind of mind blown that we're even in this position right now. We're all looking for – like, what is the answer? And the reality is like so many things, you know what I mean? So there's not one solution. So, yeah. but I feel the fan base too, man. I'm the same way. I'm like, man, like this has got to go. This has got to change. This has got to happen. And it's like, it's all of it.
It is, man. There's just the reality, like you said, is there's just way too many things going wrong for like, there's just, if like you cut down on like 30% of the issues, you might be a 3 or 4 win team right now. With but the reality is like way too many things have stacked up on top of each other. Like when you get one thing going, the other thing is not going. There's no complementary football going on right now. Like John Harbaugh said today, he's like, hey, like we're playing this defense where we're on the field a lot. We're not and then we're not running the ball well. So our defense is getting tired. We're not playing complementary football. The time of possession has been terrible. They've been losing that battle.
Yeah. I think we ran 39 offensive plays.
Yeah.
Dude, what? Like that's insane.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, it is. 20 passes from rush and 19 runs. Yeah, 40 offensive plays for the whole game.
Yeah.
It's brutal. And it is because we can't run the ball. You know what I mean? And a lot of us we're complaining about Monken and going away from the run in times.
Yeah.
Not this week, but like, in the past, even last week against the Chiefs, like, why is Henry not getting the ball? Monken kind of said he's going to call the run more. He did, especially on early downs. We were trying to run the ball. It was just going nowhere, man, because this line can't run block. So, like, we tried to run. Henry has 15 carries for 33 yards. That's terrible. And it's not Henry's getting jammed as soon as he touches the ball at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So, I mean, it's brutal, but it'll turn around, right? After the bye, I think.
I hope so, man.
I hope so too. I mean, like you said, I'm going to see the light in whatever. So, I mean, if we have a terrible season, then it is like, let's go, dude. We're going to have a top draft pick. And then like the offseason is going to be like super exciting. But if we turn it around, it's also an incredible story. And who knows what a team with momentum that fixed their problems and overcame adversity does going down the stretch.
Right. So it could go either way, man. It could go either way. If the Ravens end up with a top 14, top 10 pick, anytime they pick that high, they turn them into like elite level players.
Oh yeah, if we had a top 10 pick, like we're getting a superstar. I already know.
mean,
Hopefully, honestly, I would be willing to just get anybody that can get to the quarterback.
right. And then the exciting part about that too is it's not just like your first round pick is high, but then all of your subsequent picks are higher. Like instead of your second round pick being like 57 or 60, you're sitting at like 43 or 45.
It's kind of a late first in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you can grab that guard that we need or wherever. But like, yeah, I completely agree. It would be exciting with a top pick, but
yeah,
I really don't think we're gonna have a top 10 pick.
I don't either, man. I think like as long as Lamar Jackson, if he comes back after the bye and finishes the season and he's healthy, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson could probably carry this team by themselves to 8 or 9 wins, which doesn't put you to as a top 10, top 16 draft pick. But if they can just get Lamar back healthy and Derrick's healthy the rest of the season and stay relatively healthy, get a little bit better on defense, I still think they have a shot to make the playoffs. So
yeah. What's it gonna take? 10 wins?
Yeah.
We're at 4 losses right now. 10 wins would be 10-7, so we can afford 3 more losses. And I'm could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure one's coming this week. So yeah, I mean, we could probably afford 2 losses the rest of the season if we do lose this week. If we start out 1-5, 2 losses the rest of the way. It's very doable. The schedule's not that difficult as long as we run through the division.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in was it 2019 where the Ravens started 0-2 or 2-2? Yeah, and then they won 14 straight.
That was yep.
They finished
Lamar's first year starting. It was like pretty rocky until like the Seattle game.
Yeah,
remember like when we went 4-4, they kind of like ignited the whole rest of the season, and we ran through the rest of the league. Obviously, terrible second round in the playoffs, but I agree. And with this schedule, there's no way we can't go on. Can't win 8 out of 10 or something like that. I definitely think we can.
For sure, man. And the Steelers' schedule gets a little harder too.
And they always collapse. I'm telling you.
They do.
We'll be back here on Monday night in 8 weeks from now, and I'll be like, dude, why did the Steelers suck? I'm telling you.
Bro, the Steelers defense has been not great. They're actually like bottom half in most statistical categories, but they've been able to force some turnovers here and there. And their offense has been able to get enough going, but they really haven't played a lot of good teams this year. But their next 2 games, they have 2 divisional games, which are always a toss-up, right? You just never know. Then after that, they have Packers, who's a really good team, Colts, who are very hot right now, Chargers, who's a very good team, Bengals, another divisional game, and then Bears, Bills, Ravens, and then they finish the year Lions, another Browns, and Ravens. So, like, their schedule is not easy. Theirs gets harder, and ours gets easier.
Division's average, man. What used to be a tough AFC North is just not tough this year. When you took Joe Burrow out, I think the Bengals got way easier. And yeah, I don't think the Steelers are a massive threat. And that's crazy to say as we're sitting here at 1-4, but I totally believe we can beat the Steelers and win this division. I mean, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, you have to look at the big picture, and I know it looks terrible right now, but with the Ravens getting back, Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith, Patrick Ricard, Isaiah Likely, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, and then Jair Wouzier, Jair Alexander getting healthier each week.
Ronnie Stanley,
bro. There's a lot of reinforcements coming, a lot of reinforcements coming. So
completely agree. Shout out to VVV with the 5. Ravens one of 5 teams that will go to the playoffs. Ravens one of 5 teams that will go to the playoffs. The 1-5, the Rams win in 14. Oh, you're just saying we start 1-5, go to the playoffs? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I see it playing out. I think we lose this week because I don't think we're getting enough guys back. And I'd be shocked if we figured out every single defensive issue in 6 days against a really talented offense. that's a smart coached offense in McVay. I'd be shocked if our defense looks great this week. So I do see us starting 1-5, and then winning 8 out of 10. I've been seeing a lot of people in the comments here say we're winning 3 games, 5 games. I don't know how we would. The schedule's way easier, and we're getting everyone back.
Yeah.
Are the coaching issues glaring? Yeah. And they'll probably, if we don't make any changes, they'll probably rear their heads again in the playoffs.
Right.
When we go against well-coached, really good, talented offenses, not arguing that at all. But with getting everyone back and the way this schedule looks, as long as we stay healthy, it is a big thing to point out. Like if all these hamstrings and soft tissue injuries just linger every 2-3 weeks, then I mean, I'm with you at that point. But just assuming that we get healthy, even if you don't make any coaching changes, if you get healthy, the schedule's just it's so winnable, man. I don't know how maybe we miss the playoffs, but we're not winning 3 games or 5 games. I think we at least win 9 or 10.
I agree, man. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
There's 2 players that come to my mind that I think of that have been like bright spots on the defense. Like, while everyone else has kind of struggled, there's 2 players that I have in mind that have played really good football. Who would you say those guys are? And if it's more than 2, please feel free. But who do you think the guys are that have been kind of an anchor for the defense that can continue to be an anchor, and then like other guys start to step up around those dudes?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Hamilton, I think, is the anchor and the best player and most consistent player on the defense. That one stands out, obviously. And I'm really impressed with Nate Wiggins, too. I know he's had some moments.
Those are my 2 guys.
Yeah, like he's flying around out there. You can't say that like he's not playing with passion. He is. And like
and he's had some great pass breakups too.
Yeah. I think Nate Wiggins is just still on the rise. Like he has not really disappointed me. There's definitely been moments, but I really think Kyle Hamilton and Nate Wiggins are like people that we can just like consistently rely on, and they're both young. So like these are people to keep around for years, and they're going to just keep getting better too. Even this season, I expect everyone to keep getting better. I'm looking over here too. I just want to address this because like everyone's like, oh, the defense is not going to turn around or anything, but like we were looking we are underprepared on defense, and we're getting out coached. But those are like really high quality teams too. And then we had all the injuries on top of it, so it dug the hole 10 times deeper. My theory is that we start playing a little bit better defense. We get all the guys back, and we're going against way more winnable teams. These are very average teams, bro. Like the Bears, the Dolphins, the Jets, the division, all of our division games. Like that's a lot. That's what do we have? 5 more division games. We've only played 1. We got the Bengals twice, the Steelers twice, the Browns again. I think we can 5-0 that. So that's why I'm saying I think there's a turnaround. It's not that I think the defense is like going to become a top defense in the NFL or anything. I just think they start playing a little bit better. It's not going to keep getting worse. We're going to get a little bit better. We saw that trajectory last year. Do I believe that they're going to win a Super Bowl? No. I got to stand here and say that I do expect the defense to start playing better against all these average teams. That's why I expect to win more games. The defense is awful right now, but we also are missing 6 Pro Bowlers on there, and yes, they were playing bad when they were on the team to start the year. And we were letting up way too much against Buffalo and Detroit and KC. We weren't letting up much against the Browns, even with that same unit. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say is like when we start playing, it doesn't help us in the playoffs, but it helps turn this season around. Because when we start playing against teams like the Browns, which we have a lot of these games coming up are that the defense is going to look better. It's going to be better. So that's why I think there's a little bit of a turnaround, but I'm not over here saying we're going to win the Super Bowl or anything.
Right. Well, and if we're being honest, bro, like the defense last year heading into the playoffs was good enough to win in Buffalo. Like they held Buffalo to what was it, 27? And the Ravens had 3 turnovers on offense and the drop 2-point conversion. So even like in my opinion, and then in the week before that in the playoffs, Zach Orr really did a heck of a job against Pittsburgh, calling the defense.
Yeah, the back half of last year, defense was great. I think we were actually if you just took the back half of last year, we were the number 1 defense in the NFL. Didn't end up being that cohesively for the whole season.
Yeah. But my point was, like, even in the playoffs, the defense was good enough against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo for you to go to the AFC Championship. But the offense then fell through. Like, it wasn't complimentary.
No complimentary. Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah. We'll see if they can do it. If they can play complimentary football, then they can still make a playoff run. But we got to see it happen, man. We got to see it happen.
Yeah. No, I definitely am on the believe it when I see it. We're just, I'm trying to. If I had to predict, I do think we turn it around a little bit, but it doesn't mean everything's great. VVV again with the 2. Appreciate you. Seeing the fake Ravens fans leaving is nice. Yeah, definitely a lot of casuals that are just tuned out and gave up. Yeah. I mean, you could tell.
I know some people were only Ravens fans whenever Lamar came.
Or when we're like dominating teams. You know what I mean? Like when the Ravens are at their peak, the views go crazy. Like everyone's there. And I get it's hard to watch stuff too when we're doing bad. I totally get that. Like that makes sense too. But there's definitely a lot of casuals that are going to tune out this season.
Yeah. But hey, man, you guys are watching Ravens Fans.
Yeah. And I am trying to cope. I'm seeing people, bro's trying to cope. Yeah.
Bro is trying to cope.
This affects I'm not proud to admit this, but like watching these games, even before I ever made content or did anything, I've been a fan just watching every single Sunday my whole life. I'm like too emotionally attached.
Yeah.
That like I do, it like ruins my Sunday. You know what I mean? And like starts to sprinkle into the week. I'm like feeling a little negative on Monday and Tuesday. And I'm like, just like walking around, I'm just like, man, why am I in a bad mood? Like it does trickle over. I need to do better with that. So I am trying.
But then when the Ravens have a big dub, you're like walking in on Monday morning, like feeling yourself, like
it's the greatest feeling. It's the highs and lows, man. It's not too often, or is it just like no emotion? It's always like either a really high off a great win, but this year's been filled with a lot of lows. So hopefully the highs are around the corner.
Yeah. All right, guys, we've been going for almost an hour.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
But yeah, man, we got Rams 1 o'clock at the bank. If I'm the only one that has hope, let's go Ravens.
Hey, man, I'm rooting for them. I'm just saying, like, this one, I'm like,
I know it's not looking good.
Back.
I agree, it's not looking good, but hey, baby, let's get it done.
I like it.
Find a way, and then we'll have our Monday live reaction after that, and then we'll have the bye week. We'll get healthy. We'll get things rolling. Purple Joker says we already lost. Oh man, I'm just saying, bro. I've seen crazy things happen. Like I've seen teams that looked like hot trash with the world's worst quarterback, no offense, find ways to like fluky things happen, block punts, stuff that's been happening to us throughout the year where we get like a pass breakup and it somehow turns into a touchdown for the other team.
That is crazy. There's been a lot of things that went against us this year.
Like you just never know, man. You just never
Marlon Humphrey dropped pick into a touchdown. God, right. I mean, that's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it could start falling our way a little bit. I think we got to coach a lot better, though, too, to put these guys in good positions, man. Because usually those games you're talking about are very like smart played, well coached games. Yeah. And I'd love to see that right now. You know what I mean? Let's just like have a fight. Let's just look competitive.
Yeah. I'd be really excited to see if the Ravens like did some changes on the offensive line in this game, just because it's like, if we're gonna lose to the Rams, like we're outgunned, we're hurt or whatever, let's just see, how some other guards look in there, and if they show some promise, then you at least know, like heading into the bye week, like if you're already, not in a good position to win a game, and you try something new and it doesn't pan out well, then okay. But like at this point, what do you have to lose? Whenever your back's against the wall and you're banged up, why not try something new before the bye week, right? So
hey, man, I'm always down for a guard change. Been calling for that for 2 straight seasons now.
Yeah, And then, also keep in mind, like, our undrafted guys that made the roster, who I think are really talented. That was like their first ever starting action.
Yeah.
And
And we didn't see a ton of Jay Higgins. They're not really giving him a lot of run
No.
at linebacker. A lot of Keon Martin, Ruben Lowry. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, I mean, they're just getting their feet wet in a
Yeah.
professional game, man. It
But
is a
having
lot.
that one week to at least like watch film and to have the experience of live game action, like, I think you can make a step in your second game. So yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man. All right.
Appreciate you guys. And we will be here, next Monday. And thanks for everybody tuning in. Hope you
Thanks for
guys
tuning in, guys. Thanks for all the supers. Thanks for staying. Man, all the people in here supporting, even with the 1-4 start. You guys are real ones. So we
hell
love
yeah.
y'all.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your night, and we'll see you next week.